Hey friends, Lady Lee here from Lady Lee's Home. In this video, I am so excited to share with you this Israeli beet salad. I grew up in Israel, and on my mother's table growing up, there was always beet salad. And you wouldn't expect kids to like this salad, but it is delicious and we all just loved it. My kids love it today. Beets are sweet, and all the flavors that we're going to add is just kind of comes together so beautifully. It's also one of those salads that you can make ahead of time. I love those because if we have a big party or whatever, then it's always nice to have a vegetable side dish or a salad that you can make ahead of time. I usually make a big bowl of it at the beginning of the week and then just leave it in the fridge. It's actually better a day after, or 2 days after, or 3 days after, once the beets soak all the flavors. So that's a big benefit of this salad. You can make it ahead of time, leave it in the fridge, and then you have a side dish ready the whole week. We are going to start with the recipe on the blog. It's been on the blog for a while, and lots of people tried it and loved it. It's calling for 4 large beets. This year I made a mistake, or not a mistake, but I usually overplant my beets in the garden, and then I let them grow just a bit, and I harvest baby beets and use the baby beets sometimes for canning or just roasting or whatever, and then the other beets that are left in the garden have enough room to grow to full size. I've been doing that for years, and it kind of makes it possible for me to produce a whole lot of food from just one little bed. Well, this year things just got crazy, and I could not get to the garden in time to thin the beets and harvest the first batch of baby beets. So then all of them didn't have enough room to grow to full size, and I ended up with beds and beds of just small beets. They're still great, they're still delicious, but anyway, the recipe on the blog is calling for 4 large beets, and you'll see me messing with a whole lot of smaller beets here because that's how they came out of the garden this year. They're still amazing and so flavorful. So in addition to the beets, we're going to need 1 bunch of cilantro, and I took those off of the stem. We just want to use the leaves. Just give it a good wash, especially if you got it at the store, because sometimes there's a lot of sand on it, and then just take the leaves off the stems and give it a rough chop. We are going to use a small onion. This onion was a little big, so I just used half of it, and you can cut and slice everything however you like. I sliced the onion really thin here, and then just cut it once in the middle. Now the beets, we want to soften them. So bring a pot of water to a boil, and then once the water is boiling, add your beets after you washed them and cut the top and a little bit of the root, and then add the beets to the boiling water and let them cook in the boiling water. These small beets took about 30 minutes, so I always say somewhere between 20 to 45 minutes depending on the size of your beets. We don't want them completely soft, so just take a fork, and if the fork goes into the beet just a little bit, then it's pretty much ready. You don't want them too mushy. Once they're done, remove the beets from the boiling water and wash them with cold water, just so we can handle them. If you have time and you don't want to do this whole thing right away, then you can just leave them to the side and let them cool to room temperature. Sometimes I boil the beets the night before or in the morning, and then I just let them be in a strainer to cool during the day, and then I make the salad later, a few hours later. So that's a possibility too. But if you want to handle them right away, just give them a wash with some cold water. And then we want to cut the top and then cut the root and just kind of pinch the skin off. It should come right off. And if you have, you know, a hard spot, you can use the knife to kind of scrape it off. But most of the skin comes right off the beets. When the beets are all peeled, you want to put them back in the strainer and give them another wash. Sometimes there's still little pieces of skin left on them, so just give them one more wash with cool water. And then we are going to slice them or dice them. You can really do whatever you want here. My mom likes to keep them in larger pieces. I like to slice them a little bit smaller, but it really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Place the diced beets in a bowl, and then it is time to assemble this salad. So we add the onions, and then we add the cilantro leaves, and then we season it. We're going to add a tablespoon of canola oil. I didn't have canola oil, so I used vegetable in this video, but it doesn't really matter, but canola oil tastes a little bit better. I know that some of you will ask me if you can replace this oil with a different type of oil. I always use olive oil in all the salads that I make. It's just this salad, it does not fit very well with the beets. I'm not sure why. I didn't try it with a different kind of oil. I think maybe sunflower oil will work well. You can try grapeseed oil maybe, but if you replace it with something, I think that sunflower oil will probably be the one to work best. After the oil, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Feel free to add a little bit more if you like the taste of vinegar. And then half a teaspoon of cumin. You can also add a little bit more. I always add a little bit more because we love the taste of cumin. And then salt and black pepper to taste. We give it a good mix to make sure everything is coated with the vinegar and the oil and the seasonings, and that is it. It is a delicious salad. It is better to serve it cold. So if you made it right after the beets were cooked, then just put it in the fridge for a little bit and let it cool. It is much tastier when it's cold and not when the beets are warm. Also, of course, taste and correct seasoning, and that's it. This can go in a container in the fridge and it should last for maybe a week or maybe 10 days. The printable recipe is on the blog, and I sure hope that you will give it a try. If you love beets, you will love this salad.